We are live. What's up, guys? We're live in the SLR Lounge page and community. So this is one of the most incredible photographers out there. Trevor Dayley. I met him a little while back, actually, that was really funny, actually. I posted something, and I was like, hey, I could use a lighting assistant on this day, and Trevor's like, I'll come. I'm like, but, like, you're Trevor Dayley. I knew who he was back then. I'm like, you're Trevor Dayley. Why would you come and hold my... He's like, it'll be fun. So we actually met in the desert on a shoot, and we hung out, and
I think it was your Lighting 201 shoot.
It was for Lighting 201.
Yeah.
But Trevor operates out of Arizona. He shoots primarily weddings, but I know that you kind of dabble in other areas too. And in addition to being an incredible photographer and having a really established wedding brand, he also works with MagMod.
Yeah. I've been helping them out for about 3 years now. And essentially just kind of helping MagMod. For most people probably already know it. MagMod does a lot of light modifiers for your flash. And so just kind of helping photographers learn how to use this stuff and create videos. And
specifically, his title is the MagMod Genius, which he gets uncomfortable every time I say. So you better believe I'm going to say it a lot.
Let's go with MagMod Ninja.
No, I like the Genius.
All right. Sounds good.
We have new incredible products, though, to show off.
We do.
I've had a chance to play with them. You've been using them for a while. So we actually wanted to go through and show you guys these 3 new, very powerful, portable lighting tools and modifiers, and how you guys can incorporate them basically on virtually any shoot. And with that, I'm going to let Trevor take it away.
Right on. So, it might be important. I mentioned MagMod here. I don't know how much of this table is visible in our shot here, but there's a bunch of the MagMod modifiers. And in fact, we just talked about some of them and how you use them in your wedding shoots in our MagMod community just a second ago. Just really quickly, I think it's important for those who aren't familiar with MagMod. This guy right here, this silicone band with these magnets is what we strap onto the flash. And then once it's on the flash, then all the modifiers are just magnetically attached. So now you can take your modifiers on and off really easy. It's an awesome modular system. I've been using it for now 4 years since it essentially came out. I know you love the grid for light control, for example, and the gels, something I love as well. So MagMod basically said, what are some other things that we can do that is going to help photographers? I mean, how can we create more tools that are going to help them and kind of resolve that issue of things that just take time? It's like, how can we make this fast, easy, and awesome?
Just annoying small things.
Right?
Putting flashes on a hot shoe.
Exactly. So that was one of the first ones that we all thought, like, gosh, every time you put something on a hot shoe and you're like trying to like tighten down the little screws.
How many of your assistants have dropped flashes off of hot shoes because they didn't attach them correctly?
Not my assistants, me.
You dropped them?
I drop them.
Oh my goodness.
I drop them all the time. So that's actually, in fact, that's a great segue into basically what one of the first products that MagMod has that just came out. Now, when I say just came out, we just revealed this about less than 60 days ago. So about 52 days, I think it was, that we revealed. We put it out there, and we put it on Kickstarter so people can do pre-orders. In fact, here's our Kickstarter page. And you see over here on the right-hand side, it says $100,000 goal. We are up at $733,000 already. So it's basically people are saying, yes, I need one of those, and I need these products. And so, let me just go back.
Can I show them why?
Absolutely. Show them how the MagShoe works.
Okay, so you all know how irritating it is to put these onto hot shoes and how you have to screw the top thing, and then you got to lock it in, and it still falls off. This is what you do now. It's done. And on top of that, this is where it mounts. And so basically you can control this with one hand and make an adjustment by yourself on the fly to put your flash wherever you want it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And you don't have to lock this thing, by the way, anymore. That was my favorite thing, is like, I don't have to worry about this stupid lock on the thing that doesn't ever work anyway when you put it on a hot shoe.
Yeah.
So it's just one thing, you're done.
Yeah, if people want to, if you go to the Kickstarter page, you can watch a video there, and it shows even up close. But like Pi said, it's basically just the back. And what's nice is once that slides into place, there's nowhere for that flash to fall out of. It's not being screwed in. It's literally being locked in place. The other cool thing about this is, like you mentioned, it's just that one button to be able to do that. And then there is an umbrella bracket here for those who want to stick, and love their umbrellas and like to use them. There is one there, but I even got a better solution for you. So that is the MagShoe. Now the MagRing. Should we tell everyone a little bit about this guy real quick?
Yes.
So the MagRing, in fact, you know what? Do you want to just talk about it? You did such a good job with the MagShoe.
Let me try this. So basically what we have is a double-sided bracket. So you can put speed lights into it. So if you have a speed light with a mag grip on it, it'll pop right on. and then you simply lock it in place with this other side. But what's cool about this is not only can you get double the power if you have, this is a 50 watt second flash, right? That's the typical amount of light you're gonna get out of a standard flash, is 50 to 60 watt seconds. But this thing was actually designed with things like the 8200 in mind, where you get 200 watt seconds for a very affordable price point. And what you can do with that is you can place double 200 watt second flashes into it, snap it into place, and that's literally how easy it is to get your ring mounted and set up. So the cool thing is that I generally, like when I shoot weddings, I talk about this a lot, especially in our wedding courses. I use MagMod everything to modify, but I'm not usually using soft boxes that much, like very rarely. I use a lot of hard light, but what I do need is a lot of power. So just the ring itself, the portability and simplicity of this, and just this guy is what like got me super stoked. And what you're about to see also is that there is a softbox for this. I'm looking forward to a zoom dish. Do you guys have there's got to be a zoom dish coming for this guy. Our
research and development team has been doing a lot of stuff. So if you guys have particular things that you want to see, certainly let us know. And this is not an end all. We're going to be expanding upon a lot of this stuff. Can you put that MagRing onto the MagShoe real quick? And we'll show everybody how it all combines.
Onto the MagShoe, okay.
Yeah.
So I actually have never done this before.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool because
well, we just sent it out to you. So you had a wedding this weekend, so you weren't even able to use it there.
I haven't looked at any videos or instructions, so
I
would imagine that's how it goes.
That's it. And then this guy, can you imagine how this one goes? There we go.
Oh, like a glove.
Wait, here, do it this way.
Wait, what do I do?
No, you're good. You're good. It's just gonna snap right into place here. And then once this is on, you guys, this is magnetic, which makes it really simple and easy. So this guy, we call it our MFD, magnetic field disruptor. It basically pushes the magnets away so that you can take it on and off.
Magnetic field disruptor.
So it's no longer do you have to screw and I don't know. Use
but what if you
Velcros.
like to screw, Trevor?
Well, you could certainly do that. But if you want to keep it easier, this is the way to do it. So let's show a few
You are
images.
sweating bullets right now.
I am sweating bullets. Here, you want to take that off for me?
The MFD.
You know why I'm sweating? It's because I'm under all these hot lights.
There's a lot of hot lights here.
All right. So should we show some images and talk a little bit about this?
Let's do it.
Cool. So like we mentioned, the MagRing is essentially the easiest dual flash mount out there.
Yeah.
No longer are you trying to tighten things down and just to be able to have the two flashes. So why would you want two flashes? I think the number one thing that people think about is more power. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, maybe I'm in a situation where I want a little extra power. Maybe the sun is going down, but it's not yet sunset. And the couple's wedding planner is like, hey guys, we got to get inside. We got to do your first dance. We got to get this party going. And you're thinking, oh, I just need that sun to drop a little bit more below the horizon. You want maybe a little bit more power out of your flashes to really darken it down. That's where I love using this. So I found that I can just open up all kind of creative possibilities, especially when I put these two crazy powerful flashes together, the 280-200s. So just as an example, this first photo right here, what was funny about this is this was shot at about 10:30 in the morning.
And super bright outside.
Super bright, and you can actually, you see the shadow from the tree right here onto the wall? So that was the sun hitting the tree and basically casting that shadow. You can actually, if you look to her left, you can see by her leg and stuff, you can see the shadow from the sun. I put the MagBox close to her, and then I basically blasted her with 280. Yeah, exactly. So essentially I'm taking what we'd use in like a studio, and I'm taking it outside in a portable solution. This next shot is actually behind the scenes. So if you look really close down here, look how pale that wall looks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When it's actually exposed properly, the wall doesn't even have the purple color that you saw in that last photograph. And so being able to basically, let me go back to this last shot one more time, essentially overpower what the sun is putting out there and creating my own light.
Well, and we've talked about this a lot. So in our courses, those of you that are familiar with them, you'll know that we've talked about overpowering the light at a distance requires 400 to 500 watt seconds of power if you're going to be modifying it. Like, if you're going to modify with any sort of modifier that's not like, either a beam, like a zoom dish or something, if you're going to use a softbox or a beauty or any of those things, and you want to overpower sunlight at a 6 to 8 feet distance, it's 400 to 500 watt seconds of power. Now, we showed you guys that by using things like the B1, the ProPhoto B1. But what this allows us to do is now take inexpensive 8200s and essentially turn them into a 400 or 500 watt second flash that we can now modify. So it's incredibly powerful in the way that it kind of simplifies our day and allows us to, if you're not yet ready to step into something that's, more expensive or a better, like the quality side of like the ProPhoto is there. But honestly, like, there's a lot of us that are just starting out that are not ready to jump into that. And what this allows us to do is to be able to get the power.
Yeah. Well, what I love about this is because I'm using MagMod throughout the day, I can just stay with, so for example, if I'm using this guy and then I decide, you know what, I just want to grid my light. So I want to throw a grid on here. Now all of a sudden I can just add a grid or a gel. I can keep everything. So without having to lug around other suitcases with different types of gear, I can just keep it.
You have 400 watt seconds of basically pinned light coming directly through.
Yeah.
So it's a very powerful lighting modifier and tool that I'm really excited to get to using.
Yeah. So so basically, so we saw that shot there, overpowering the sun. This next shot was actually up on Mount Lemmon. On Mount Lemmon with the guy's name was Q, and basically we're actually filming our video.
Yeah.
So it was funny. I was actually kind of trying to squeeze in some photographs as the video crew is all over the place. But
it looks like noon, right? I mean, this is like the sun, the light's directly underneath him.
Exactly. If you look at that, and so now I'm able to put light on his face, but it doesn't. I'm basically able to balance it with that sun directly overhead.
Yeah.
You know, and essentially it's allowing me to shoot photos at any time of the day.
And your flash is out of frame, because what we showed you guys when you needed to get more power out of a flash, we demonstrated a technique of compositing, where basically you had a small light, you brought it in super close into the frame to light the subject, then you took a plate shot and then photoshopped it out. That is extremely cumbersome if you're going to take anything more than just a couple shots in a scene. Now you can essentially, well, with 400 or 500 watt seconds, you can light from outside of the frame and shoot and edit and do everything at such a quicker pace.
Yeah. Here's a closer up shot. Same exact spot, just closer up. And then I actually swung around the other side and shot from the other side. And what was interesting about this photograph is if you if you look really close, you can see the rock on the back.
Yeah.
I left a little bit of ambient in there. I only shot this at 1/200th of a second.
That's crazy.
But I shot at f32.
Oh man.
So there's not many lenses that allow us to go to f32. This was with my 135 millimeter, the Canon 135. So it allows me to go to f32. I went f32. I think I was full power on the 8200s. I had the flashes just out of screen. But essentially, I mean, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, with no shade anywhere in sight, without even doing high-speed sync, I was able to essentially make it look dark.
Nighttime,
which is pretty exciting and pretty neat. So that's just another example of having that additional power in those flashes and what you can do with it. This photo is actually by Hiram Trillo out of El Paso. No, he's not out of El Paso. Houston, I believe, in Texas. The reason I love this shot, though, is simply the same idea where the sun's behind her, and yet he's still getting color in the sky. You know, he's able to darken it down enough, we can get that power out of the flashes and still be able to have that beautiful light behind her. It almost looks like this radiant glow.
Yeah.
So, and then this is actually by another photographer, amazing photographer named Christine Diaz. This was actually shot in the same spot where I just showed those photos at Q. Same idea. This one, she actually did Photoshop out the box because they're obviously right on the cliff.
There's nowhere to stand.
But same idea of being able to essentially bring, you know, so often I see photographers, they'll get these beautiful landscapes like this mountain right here, but then the sky and the city and everything behind them is just white. You know, because they're trying to have the couple in what am I trying to say? They're trying to be exposed properly, right?
Yeah.
And to expose them properly, then everything else would be white behind them. So here she's using the box to create that nice light on them, but also be able to show that background. So one of the things that I think is exciting, Pi.
This is my favorite piece, actually, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like softboxes, but I like light control more than softboxes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like you said, light control is kind of the key, right? And so basically what the focus diffuser does is a lot of photographers were familiar with a softbox, but then you have the funky grid on it, right? And you're trying to Velcro the grid around it. Well, the focus diffuser gives you that diffusion and light control like you would a grid, but without having to lose power going through a grid.
Yeah. So basically what you have inside of this is a very fine texture inside of this, like it's almost like a mylar kind of material, but that texture beams the light forward like a grid would but it's incredibly easy to put on because it's all magnetic as well. You just pop this around it and you have kind of a built-in, it's kind of a diffusion panel and that's why you call it the focus diffuser. So it focuses your light, it also diffuses your light as well.
So so you're not getting that real specular light, but you're also getting that control.
Yeah.
So I love using this. I was shooting in a studio, for example, and being able to focus my light on the person without having that light spill all over the background.
That's huge. Yeah.
The other time I really see using it is, let's say I'm shooting, in Arizona we shoot a lot of golf course weddings. So we'll shoot a lot of sunsets at or on the fairway. Is that what they call that, where they hit the ball?
Fairway. Yep.
I'm not a golfer. Did that Was
I
it
golfed in
noticed?
high
Was
school.
it obvious?
It was very noticeable.
Okay.
Don't worry.
So on the fairway, when I'll have a couple, I hate when I'm trying to light them up, but then I get the grass all lit up.
Yeah.
And it looks terrible.
Yeah.
And so essentially here, now I'm able to use a larger light source, create something a little bit softer on my couple, but still have that control so I'm not lighting up that grass.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
by the way, speaking of golf clubs, you know what I like to think about is we have all these tools. It's kind of like having a bunch of different golf clubs in a bag. Like you'd never go golfing with a putter, and that's it. Maybe you would.
I love that analogy coming from a person that doesn't golf.
Well, I know you don't use a putter for everything. Do you?
No, you don't.
Okay.
No, you don't use a putter.
All right, so let's check out some of the images for Focus Diffuser. So this shot, this is a cue. This is one we actually took in studio. Again, you can see the background behind him. It's not very far. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 feet behind him, but we had a blue gel on it, and I just put the Focus Diffuser right overhead, and you can see how that light is not spilling onto the backdrop.
So this is kind of used as a nice butterfly light with a kind of a beauty dish setup, like just directly over.
Exactly. Yeah, a little butterfly paramount light. You can basically, here's the setup. So you can see that he's, I don't know, what, 4 feet in front of that backdrop there. And we just have it directly overhead. So there's a few more shots in here. There's Q doing his thing.
I love that.
This
Looks like
one,
you have a red on the right side.
exactly. Yeah, so we're using a red gel on the right, one of the MagMod gels, and then we just use that box, similar position, a little bit high, just to the left.
Yeah.
And again, I love just how I can focus that light where I want it, but not have it spill everywhere.
That's fantastic.
So this one I actually kind of left unedited, so you guys can see the uncropped, unedited version. But it basically just shows you how I can use a blue gel on one side, a red gel on the other, and still use my focus diffuser and not have that light spill all over that background.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not getting that light pollution basically that's just, you know, ruining the gels that I'm going for.
I mean, that is the key to literally everything. That's why our favorites are grids, and to have that grid built in without having another layer to put over a diffusion panel.
Yeah.
The simplicity of this is incredibly powerful. So.
And see, the crazy thing is when you put those layers, so like for example, if I put a grid on top of my diffusion panel on a MagBox, it essentially, I mean, you can't even, there's not even a way to do that. But if I put a grid on a softbox, you're losing power.
Yep.
So now you're taking the effective light output from your flash, and let's say it's 200 watts. Now you're maybe not getting all that because some of it's getting lost in that grid.
You lose about a half to a full stop of power from just adding a grid.
Yeah.
So a focus diffusion, and that's what's cool about it, is that you're not actually losing power with the focus diffuser, right? It's
So compared to other softboxes, you're actually getting about 2 to 3 stops more effective light output from it.
That's crazy.
Which is really, it allows you to take advantage of your flashes and the light that's coming from them. Here's a behind the scenes, just kind of an iPhone shot. You can see there where that box was set up. This one, similar idea. It was just basically the MagBox camera right, and you could, again, you don't see any of that light, you know, on the sheet metal behind her. It's all just coming from that right direction, hitting her and not spreading everywhere. On my left side, I did have another flash. I actually just had a flash in one of these MagRings. It was just one with a grid on it, very similar to what we have here, just with one. So I was using that as just kind of a rim light.
Now, a question for like Godox and all that stuff is fantastic. I think they're great. I have my experiences with them, but I'm not going to talk about that. But I still want to stick to my Pro Photo setup. So are you guys going to be developing rings for like the B2 and the B1s?
Okay, so that's a great question. So the B2 and the B1s for the Pro Photo flashes, and there's Bowens, Ellen Chrome,
Flashpoint, all the...
Well,
We also got a question about adapting to alien bees.
adapting to alien bees. Okay, so basically the way this is going to work is any of those flashes, we do have adapters, basically like a speed ring adapter that we can actually put on the flash so it can attach to the MagBox. So you will be able to use the softbox with the focus diffuser and those like a B1, a B2, an alien bee.
But I'll just show these guys this. So for this particular speed ring, you do need to have basically 2 square-shaped flashes that are roughly the same size as like a standard flash. That's what it's kind of designed for. So 8200 fits perfect. Regular flashes fit perfect. But that's the design.
I use Flashpoint. I heard that come up. But like something like an Alien Bee, a Pro Photo, like obviously you're not going to be able to put 2 because we're not going to use the MagRing. But we do have an adapter so you can use the box with the focus diffuser. So you can still take advantage of those. You just wouldn't be able to use the dual flash mount.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then of course a lot of those lights already have a mount on them, so there would be no reason for the MagShoe at that point. So just a couple other images, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of these other benefits. Here's just an example of in studio where you can see MagBox left was focus diffuser, and then on the right you can see that there's blue light coming out of here. This is the other thing that's I've never seen, and softboxes before, and that's that we can now gel it.
Yeah.
So directly inside this box, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the focus diffuser. So, you know, I don't think we grabbed a gel. That's okay. I might not have even sent you one.
I don't think I got one.
Yeah, you're not
But I
privileged
remember-
enough yet.
I remember. Sorry, guys. I need to build up my followers more. Please, people, follow me.
As soon as you get 15,000 likes on Instagram or 15,000 followers, I will send you some gels.
I'm not very good at the whole Instagram stuff. Okay, so but that is not the way you're talking about right now.
No, so you can do this if you just did a flash, right?
Okay,
So if you were just using the flash and you didn't want to use the box, you can certainly do it that way.
Okay.
But when you want to actually gel the box, I don't have one here with me, guys, so I apologize for that. It literally just snaps right in here.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a circular gel that you
Yeah.
just push right in here. It snaps in. It's basically built out of the same material that these are. So it's not this flimsy, film that we're just clipping or somehow taping to our lights. It's this polycarbonate gel, and it literally just snaps right in there. So
very cool.
since we have this right here, I'm going to just show how you open and close this.
Yep.
In fact, do you want to do it? Have you ever done this?
I don't know if I've done it before.
It is the easiest thing ever. So there's these little tabs in here, and all you got to do is just grab one of them and pull it out, and it literally just, now from there I can just shut it and close it down. Same thing when I want to open it, I just take this and just push it. That's it. I mean, that's as easy.
so nice.
That's as easy as it comes. You got to use it this weekend, right,
we're
Shiv?
Going away with the rods because I feel like rods are going to be like kind of akin to film within like 10 years. Like, do you
Yeah.
guys remember how we had to be used to putting like rods into soft boxes and stuff?
Yeah, I kind of feel that way with magnets too. Like or say Velcro. Like magnets are going to be replacing Velcro in a lot of stuff. It seems like nowadays everyone's just going for the easier things. So we have a case. Again, I wasn't able to send you one yet because we just have a very few of these finished units. But
So more important people got them.
yeah, well, like I said, once you get 15,000 likes on Instagram, we will get this stuff in your hands.
At Pi Jirsa. wait, our main one, the Lineagers one, has like 40-something thousand.
Oh, nobody told me that. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so there's a case that this actually slides right into. And it slides in, and then it has a place where you can put your focus diffuser and everything else. So pretty cool.
That is
Pretty
rad.
neat.
So, I've used the zipper to pop in and out.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Thanks, Shiv. So when you have this open and you have the focus diffuser on it, if you don't want to take your focus diffuser off, we got this handy dandy zipper right here.
Just lets you reach right in
Exactly.
there. Hi.
Pretty cool, right? So that's kind of nice. So yeah, this box,
I love the build quality on this. Like I can, the materials and the thickness of the nylon, like this is not gonna have issues of breaking, rods going through the plastic. Like, because that was one of the big issues with softboxes. The rods would go through the actual, and they become useless.
this has been in the works for 2 years, and I've seen so many different prototypes. The rods that are in here right now, this is actually the same material that they use to build like drills, and-
Spaceships.
spaceships. Yes, rockets that go to NASA. That are from
Guys.
NASA. That go to the moon. No, it's from the drills.
This
Like the.
will take you to the moon and
Yes,
back.
that's exactly right.
Is that a
Can we-
proper?
can we
is
tweet
an,
that? Can we
Is that
tweet
an
that?
okay claim?
I think
Can
so.
We claim that?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Just tweet it as Pi Jirsa. Yeah, let's just look at a few more images. How about that?
Sure.
Actually, you know what? I have open structure here.
What does that even mean?
Open structure
Why you
means
gotta be all
that.
fancy?
Check this out. Do you see any kind of bounce plate in here?
No, like a diffusion panel?
Yeah.
Like
do
an
you see-
internal baffle?
So sometimes there's a diffusion panel. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's a
baffle
bounce
inside,
plate.
yep.
Sometimes there's like a rod in the middle here
Correct,
that you have
with
to
the
screw
bounce
everything
plate.
on,
Yep,
and
yep.
things bounce, lights bouncing off
Yep.
it and so forth. We built this as an open structure, guys. The way, when you get your box and you put your flash in here and shoot it. In fact, if you go to our Kickstarter page, you'll see pictures of this. But the way it's designed is you got this beautiful, all the light just covering the front face of this without needing a bounce plate or diffusion panel. It's open.
I was involved in the R&D on that.
You were. We asked you some questions. You certainly were.
So one of my concerns when Spencer first showed me one of the prototypes was I said, Spencer, without an internal baffle or plate, it seems like the light is going to be, you're going to have a hot spot in the middle of the softbox. So can you demonstrate how this would be better or give me the same light output or the same quality? And I feel like up close, you're going to notice it. Like at a distance, you're never going to see these things, but up close, the way a studio photographer might use one of these softboxes, you will be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
And then he actually took a shot side by side and demonstrated, and we tested it, and I was like, yep, that's good. I can't tell the difference between the two.
I honestly, I was amazed as well. Just being able to see that the light across, it had even coverage across the whole
Yeah.
thing without needing a diffusion panel or a bounce plate or anything else.
That was huge.
Because when you add those things, again, you're just losing light output.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't need it, why are you going to add it? So basically, the way Spencer designed it was so that it was the correct distance and we didn't need it. The other thing is, I think that slide just slipped in. The open
Well, I
structure,
can
but that's
imagine
okay.
what you might want to say is like if you had two 8200s into this, even if you didn't need all the power,
Yeah.
you would have a heck of a lot of faster recycle time. If you're running like maybe 100 watt seconds, you could just pop one after the next with a softbox, with everything going. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah. No, I meant the open structure. I don't know how it slipped in there, but the faster recycle time, absolutely. That's exactly right.
So I was way off.
You want to know what else is fun? When you go to a wedding and you have you and your second have each one of these, and let's say you're shooting sunset photos or maybe you're shooting dance photos. Have you ever been on a reception dance floor and you see a photographer that has like 4 light stands all over the place? Maybe 2 for them and then 2 for their assistant. Now,
I'm that guy. Trevor.
you are that guy? Well, I got a solution for you. So check this out. Put your 2 light stands, create your triangle light, right? So you and
Oh,
your
I know what
assistant.
you're about to say.
And then basically just have one channel for you, one channel for your assistant, and now you don't have these light stands everywhere because you can essentially both use the
That's
same
awesome.
one.
That's
So,
awesome. Have the exact same shot. Very
Yeah.
consistent.
Same thing with when you're shooting sunset. You could put them both on the box, have them both gelled, have you shooting from one angle, have your assistant maybe shooting, while you're shooting short light, have them shooting broad light, etc.
Yeah.
So
One thing I want to note was like notice one of the big things when you're using 2 stands. We talked about like when you're stacking flashes, like how important it is to get those 2 flashes so close together that you're not creating double shadows. So you can
Yeah.
see from this, I love the consistency of that because if you did have your second shooter shooting with the exact same, like you would have the exact same look and the
Yeah.
exact same image coming out of it.
Previously I used to use those brackets that you put 2 flashes and they were about a foot apart. Sometimes they would even have 4. You can go, in all different directions. And that's exactly what would happen is when you would do it and you would try to get that extra power, you would see 2 shadows on the person. So it was always a little
I feel
frustrating.
like we could grill something if we flashed full power fast enough.
Probably
and then
could.
put a plate over it.
Little couple eggs. Yeah, I'm down. So for faster recycle time on this image right here, it's just an example of how you can shoot with flash, still get a nice balance. So obviously I didn't want to make it dark on this image, but I wanted to get a nice balance, but I wanted to shoot with a little bit of flash, but I didn't want to, have you ever been shooting and you're shoot and your flash can't
Yep.
recycle quick enough?
Yep.
So now instead of shooting at, let's say, a quarter power, I can shoot at 1/8, or instead of shooting at 1/16, I can shoot at 1/32 or 1/64 power. So I can shoot at these lower flash powers, allowing them to recycle a lot quicker.
It's huge for getting authentic emotions because you're not
Yeah.
telling them to pause and pose. You can actually shoot with
Yeah.
the laughs and everything like
Hey,
that.
walk really slow.
Yeah.
Now
No,
you
hold
just
that
say-
laugh. Nope, that's not the same one. Nope. I
Exactly.
need that. Yep.
Exactly. So the other big thing with this softbox, obviously, is soft light. That's one of the biggest things for the longest time. People that were using MagMod, they were saying, "Hey, we love the grids, we love the balance, we love the sphere, but we want soft light." And of course, the sphere this is like the Mag Sphere is one of the most popular modifiers we have, and it was huge as far as creating a nice kind of soft transition on the edges. In
Yeah.
other words, that light when it would
Circular
diffuse off,
pattern.
yeah, it wasn't this hard fall off, but it's still a smaller light. And so with this MagBox now, you can see the difference. If you like the Mag Sphere, now you got this huge, nice, good, soft, or bigger modifier, which is going to give you a softer light.
I love that you say soft and not diffused because those are 2 different things. Thank you.
You're welcome. I do want to just mention, when you guys are using any softbox, I think one of the rules that I see a lot of photographers will do, and this is umbrellas, softboxes, you name it, they'll take a large light source like this, especially when you compare it to one of these, and then they'll move it back 8 to 10 feet. And at that point,
You
it
lose the
really
benefit.
it doesn't give you the benefit. So I like to say, if this is, let's say 22 inches, well then basically keep it about 22 to 36 inches away from your subject. And that's where you're going to get the most bang for the buck.
Yeah, if you're looking for soft light. Otherwise, that's where something like a zoom dish would come into play. Like if you guys had a zoom dish for this guy,
You really want to zoom dish.
I want a zoom dish. I like hard light, and I'm gonna use the heck out of the softbox for sure. But I love being able to back up those lights and like beam the light in like at a very high power.
I will say,
Spencer zoom dish.
I would say the last couple months for me using all this has been a little bit of a change, only because for the last 4 years, I stopped using it. I used to love softboxes on weddings. And then I stopped using it only because it was just too difficult.
It's cumbersome.
Yeah, when you're out there shooting and stuff, it was just too difficult. So now I feel like we have a fast, easy solution that can kind of actually incorporate and get some of that, beautiful light on my clients when I want it. So real quick, here's a few shots, guys, with soft light. We'll kind of speed through these. Same couple here. You're going to see a little behind the scenes on a few of these. This one I was actually just using the sun as my rim light. So it's the exact same place where you just saw that shot where they were walking. I just darkened the ambient down a little bit, used the sun as my rim, and then just put a little light on the couple.
That's gorgeous.
This one actually, similar setup. I had my
This is
softbox
no
to the left.
Photoshop, right?
No. This is, and you can see, look how beautiful that Rembrandt light is right underneath their eyes. It's just this beautiful, nice wrapping light. And again, that box is pretty close. In fact, you're going to see this next shot is a behind the scenes. Here's a behind the scenes of it. So you can see that MagBox. I have it fairly close, about maybe 30 inches or so from them. And then behind them on the right-hand side, I have a Mag Bounce. And that Mag Bounce is just adding that little bit of edge.
It's your lacrosse stick, right?
My lacrosse stick, exactly. That's what I like to call it. So that's that shot. So this next one, this is actually by Ning Wong.
Ah,
Ning is just down the street over here.
nice.
Yeah, so Ning got
Ning
got
is a
to
good
use
friend
it.
of ours.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was using this in his studio and basically was just shooting up against the a backdrop similar to what we have here. Just a great example of just showing how we get this nice, pretty light on the subjects. Nice little back shadow coming off their nose. This is another one of Ning's. We actually just stepped outside and said, you know what? Let's use the sun that was right overhead. Let's use the sun as a little bit of a rim light, put on his shoulders, on his hair, and then we'll light him up with the MagBox. And for this one, he did use 2 flashes to add a little extra power, a little oomph. So one of the other things that I love using the softbox, and I don't know if you've missed this at all, but one of the things I missed when I was using smaller lights all the time was catch lights. I feel like when I did studio work, I could create a beautiful catch light in somebody's eye, but the moment I would go out in a wedding, I might catch a little tiny glimpse of a flash, but I notice now when I'm using the softbox, I can get more of those catch lights.
For sure.
So this is actually just one of those examples that I thought, I'll just toss this in there because you always got to include pictures of your kids, right?
Especially if you have 6 of them.
That's true. I do have 6 kids. So this was my daughter on her first day of school just a week or 2 ago. But if you look on that image on the left, you're going to see that little catch eye that in the eye that just adds that little extra.
That's a great shot.
Right?
Can you do that again? I don't think they heard that.
Can we just do the sound effects?
Somebody repeat the sound effect. Shiv, can you get it? Oh, there we go.
Got it.
Thanks.
So, and I show behind the scenes here just to kind of show where that box was placed. Again, about 2 feet from her.
I love that these are all like in your driveway.
It is. Yeah, basically, I was just, first day of school, I take my kids out. I'm like, hey, you guys get to have your first school photo shot with a MagBox. This is actually all of them.
Such a beautiful family.
There's all 5.
We're missing the baby.
The baby was sleeping. So that was the first day of school for all of them shot with the MagBox. Kind of fun.
So cool.
I mentioned the gellable softbox, so we'll just kind of fly through that. The ergonomic grip, we talked about that earlier, right? So these are just some of the benefits of what I've noticed in using these products versus things that I've used in the past.
Yeah.
Like you said, the last thing you want to do is try to hold one of those umbrella brackets, with all those little pieces. What's cool about this is once you have that little pistol grip on it, you can give it to your assistant and they can walk around with it. So
the days of that nasty triple bracket are over. Triple bracket, oh man.
Well, so we're here in the Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
How many places here in Los Angeles allow you to put up light stands?
Yeah, no. Without a permit, you can't put sticks down anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's super helpful.
So this is just an easy way of being able to have your assistant kind of just walk and hold. This shot is obviously unedited. It looks a little bit bright on her, but just the idea of we're shooting behind the scenes to kind of show how the assistant can walk with them. Or if you're up on the rocks and it's like the light stand's gonna be all wobbly and weird, just have them hold it up for you. So. And then, of course, you mentioned earlier the MagShoe being able to adjust it with one hand. I think yesterday you actually did a live broadcast right here at this table, actually, with Shivani, and you guys were talking about it.
Well, I had one of the most insane wedding weekends of my life. This double couples that, I don't know, I think I mentioned in the last video. Basically, it's 2 couples. One of them, they're best friends. They're like family. They got married on the same. So one got married on Friday, one got married on Saturday, and then they had a joint reception on Saturday evening. So there's parts of the day where I'm just like running a gun. We had 5 people, but we're all over the place. There's 700 people there. Yeah. And there's moments during the reception where someone starts talking and they step out of that area that I have lit. And by myself, I could just walk right over, just grab the stand, adjust with the trigger a little bit, and pull it over, and then go right back to shooting. Yeah. And it was so incredibly simple. And it almost sounds dumb, because it sounds like I'm trying to sell this thing, but I'm a huge fan of things that make our life simple, which is why we jumped onto MagMod in the first place, because it just made Velcro and all that old crap just
Yeah.
a lot easier. And then this was like mind blown. Like, oh my gosh, so incredibly easy to put it on. This, amazing. The softbox is gonna be awesome. But like I said to you guys, like I don't use the softbox as much.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be great for like a group shot or like those kind of moments.
I think all of us, like I said, I haven't used a softbox for 3 or 4 years. So I think all of us, it's going to be one of those things where as we start seeing how we can use it. I mean, before I didn't even think about softboxes because I didn't want to have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And so now if I think, okay, like for example, I was telling you tomorrow I have a shoot at sunrise. So at 5:20 in the morning, about 25 minutes before sunrise, I'm going to be doing a first look with a couple, which is crazy to be doing it that early in the morning. But I'm so excited. I'll have 2 MagBoxes set up. I'll be able to, have everything ready to roll, and I don't have to. I don't have to worry about like having this harsh, big shadows because on a first look, you got to have some flexibility.
Yep.
You don't know exactly which way they're going to turn, things like that. So I want to be able to create larger light source, so I have a little bit more of that flexibility. So
It'll be really interesting to see how it goes.
yeah, so I'll have to share some photos. I love the other thing I was just going to mention is what I like to do is the way this is. Gosh, I don't know the manufacturing word. The way it's bored out, maybe is that the way? Is that the right word? It's like the exact measurement on top of a stand. And so what's cool is I'll tighten it down, but I won't tighten it all the way. So now I can easily turn it and adjust it and basically get this kind of 360, which is really nice and convenient.
Yeah.
So talked about modular, being able to basically just convert from the soft boxes over to the modifiers and gel it and grit it and do all those different things. And then this is kind of a photo that you saw the shoot with Q and Georgianne. Georgianne is actually a Nike sponsored athlete. She's an amazing 400 meter hurdler.
Yeah.
That's what her race is. In fact, she was just racing in Toronto. So for this shot, basically I was just looking for how can I gel the background, create kind of a larger light source so that when she's kind of running through doing her hurdling type thing, how can I do that without having that light go everywhere, still having control, but also giving me some of that flexibility. And that's essentially what we did here. So we have a purple gel to the right, a blue gel to the left. We get that purple light in the middle.
I love Burple.
and
then controlled Burple looks good. This looks great.
So that's controlled Burple. And then we got that the MagBox on her with that focus diffuser. So
that's rad.
Kind of fun. This is actually, I know you like to shoot.
I love fitness.
Well, you also like to kind of shoot from that short side that not lighting up the whole side of the face.
I love shooting from the shadows. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of fun.
It's beautiful.
There's the behind the scenes. So you can see
she's like doing jazz hands.
Right.
That's helping you get ready.
This is our warm up.
Can you do that again? That's so
Something
good.
like that.
So good.
By the way,
Shiv's got her palm to forehead right now.
She does. She's been doing that the whole time though.
Has she? Just resting position.
So you can see the light is up above, guys. A lot of times when you do shoot fitness, you want to basically show off that definition of their muscle. So you have a whole video on this, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's where I learned all my stuff from. So, and then lastly, we just talked a little bit about how we already covered this. This is one of the questions that came up, the adapters for the studio strobe. So if you have those other strobes and you still want to use the MagBox and the focus diffuser with the gel bowl and all that kind of stuff, you certainly could. So that's the big thing. I would love is there any questions that popped up? Cool. So if you guys have any questions or you're interested in learning more about this whole new system, the MagBox, the MagShoe, the MagRing, definitely go check out the Kickstarter.
Yep.
If they just go to kickstarter.com, search MagMod, or we'll put a link in the thread as well. Click on that, go check it out. There's some videos, there's all kinds of information. There's some of those photos that you talked about, showing the light coming right through the front. So you can see how perfect and even that is.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
I'm excited, man.
Well, thank you for stopping by and going through this whole thing. This is I can tell exactly what your company is like aiming for. For MagMod, it's just like, let's just take all these things that have been just, I don't know what else to say about it, but it's just dumb. Like, why are we doing these things like like an umbrella bracket? Let's just take those things and make them better. So I'm looking forward to like everything that's coming. It's been like the way that this whole system has changed the way that we shoot has been incredible. Yeah.
No, thank you. One other thing I just want to mention is for those who haven't done Kickstarter, it's a way to pre-order, right? Yeah. So when you in fact, you guys used Kickstarter when you did your undefined bags, did you?
We did a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I met Justin, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. So essentially, guys, if you've never used Kickstarter, it allows you to pre-order, and then once these ship, you will be the first ones to receive it. But here's the cool thing: is you will never find the price cheaper then you find it on Kickstarter.
So right now is the time to grab it.
Now's the time, and there's basically 7 days left.
Okay.
So they have until next Wednesday. So 1 week from now is when the Kickstarter closes, and then like I said, the price will, when it goes retail, it's not going to be any cheaper.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the time to go and buy it if you guys are into it. And we're going to be using a lot of this gear throughout all of our upcoming tutorials and content that we're creating. So it has a lot of great uses. Go grab it before it goes up to full retail price. Shiv will actually put the link into the description below so you guys can jump on it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much.
This was rad. Thanks for coming, dude. We didn't have any like awkward man holding moments, so I feel like we should end it with one.
All right, let's do that. Can we close?
Bye.